Please welcome Geoffrey Canada and Stanley Druckenmiller.
Thank you. Woo.
Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome to USC. It's great to finally have you here. I know you've received far too many emails from me over the years, but we're finally here.
If I knew that I was going to get this kind of reception, I would have come a long time ago. So thank you all.
And Stan, thank you so much for helping put this together. It really is a unique combination to have both of you here.
Pleasure to be here.
So what we're going to do tonight, just a little bit of the format. We're going to talk first about their backgrounds, both Jeff's in education and Stan's in investing. And then Stan is going to present some slides about the topic, generational equity. But before we do that, we wanted to lay the groundwork. Then we're going to talk about that a little bit. Then we're going to get questions from the audience with a high preference for students at USC, since they're paying the tuition. And then we want you to stay towards the end because a group that is joined up is going to do some text polling to see instant results on the messaging and whether it's hitting the spot. Then we're going to come back for one final question, say thank you, and they said they're going to stick around for a few minutes to meet with you and to say hello, although we promised we'd get them out at a certain time because they have a red-eye back to New York. He does not miss many days at the Promise Academy, do you?
Not many.
So let's start out with why. We always want to say why. Why are you doing this? Well, first let's start out with what is generational equity. Can you explain what that term of art means, Stan?
The best way I can describe generational equity is it's the net benefits through the government from one generation to the next. And the reason we're here and the reason it's so pertinent, the best way to describe it is a new study that came out a week ago. If you are an average 65-year-old in the United States, you are set to receive $325,000 more in benefits than you put in during your lifetime. If you are an unborn or a millennial, you are set to pay a lot more than you took out. So an unborn, their net pay will be $400,000 more in taxes than they will get in benefits. And the millennials, well, it's not that bad. You also will be net payers. So really, we're looking at a $700,000 transfer from future generations to the current generation, and thus the term generational. It should be inequity, not equity, David.
You've had other terms for it. So, we all get mad when a friend, you have a nice dinner and your friend skips out on the check. Imagine if that check is multiple trillions of dollars and you're left holding it. I think that's probably what he's going to show. So let's talk about why. Why are you here, and why does it impact what you do, this issue?
Well, I think people will wonder why a guy who spends all of his time trying to help poor children in Harlem wants to run around the country and talk about this issue of generational theft. And for me, it's pretty straightforward. My kids, who have literally grown up under some of the toughest circumstances that kids face in this country, have bought into the American dream. I mean, really bought into it. And the dream they had sort of ended their lives in jails and prisons and with children when they're teenagers and totally unable to make a way for themselves in their community. That was the old dream. It was a destructive sense of reality. And Stan and I got together and said that this is un-American. It's just un-American. You should be able to reach your full potential, and the American dream should be open for everybody. Neither Stan nor I came from money. We got where we went to because we worked hard and we did what we wanted to do. We've both done all right. He's done a little better than I have. It's all good, right? But I think we both deeply believe in the future of this country and our responsibility as adults to make sure that children have a better way. So here I've convinced this whole group of kids. We started out with 50 kids in college, and we got 100 kids in college, and then we got 300 kids. We have 1,000 of our young people in college today, right? So this is, but you have to understand what we've said to them. We've said that you're joining a system that is fair, right? You're going to work, you're going to pay taxes, you're going to do it all the right way, you're going to work hard, and in the end, you're going to be able to receive from this country what we consider the American dream. And when I saw the figures that Stan presented about what's going to happen, I said that essentially we've told our kids a lie. We've just told them a lie. We told them this thing was going to be fair, it's going to be equitable, and yet my generation is literally picking their pockets. And I just, I'm not as worried, I think, about young people who may have some supports in their life. These kids have nothing. They have nothing. Their families have no money. They have no support in their homes. And for us to be taking from them, to me, I think is unconscionable. So that's what really got me involved in this. I think this is a matter of equity. I don't think you can tell young people that, you know what, if you play by the rules and you work hard, your country is going to make sure you get an equitable deal and then have a generation take that money away. So that's why I'm involved.
Well put.
David, I've been following this issue because of what I do, which is invest on future economic trends for many years. But the two paths crossed with Harlem Children's Zone in this, and I guess the last straw for me was the sequester. When I heard the President of the United States get up in February and say, we're not going to solve this problem by balancing it on the back of seniors, I'm going to show you tonight that the seniors systematically for 30 or 40 years have been getting a wealth transfer from the young. And when I saw last February them cutting our Head Start programs, cutting food stamps, cutting NIH grants, never touching entitlements, not even a part of the conversation. We have a budget battle going on in Washington that everybody knows about. I'll guarantee you one part that's not going to come up in this discussion, and that's entitlements. And that was just sort of it for me, and I blew a fuse, went on TV a few times, thought that would be the end of it. The last time I did that, I made a fool out of myself back 15 years ago, and sure enough, it resonated, and we decided to go out with this message because I think it's a message the young people need to hear.
And, as a footnote, if you haven't followed Stan's career, you lived a pretty private life. You were not in the press at all. You actually avoided it. And so for you to come forward now, it must be important to you. And when you say, this is not, it is a political issue, certainly in terms of solutions, but in terms of the numbers, it's not a political, it's an apolitical thing. It's just the math and the numbers don't add up, and you're going to show us that, right?
Say that again?
I was just saying that the facts are what they are. The solutions may be political and what you cut and how to do it, and there's different. But it's not.
I'm not going to. I'm showing you facts, and they're going to blow your mind. I thought I knew this issue because it's what I do for a living. I look at the future, and I try and, somewhat like a pariah, take advantage of it, particularly dislocations. But the more I got into this issue, and when I started on, I knew there was a debt problem. The unfairness of it and the inequity. Just amazing. And we have 3-year-olds at Harlem Children's Zone. We promise them, if you avoid being cool, and I'll tell you, if you grow up in Harlem and you play by the rules, you're going to get some heat in our community. And we promise them if they do it our way, get them through college when they're 22 years old, they're going to have a job. Well, if we don't fix this problem, those promises are going to be broken even if they hold up their end of the bargain.